finest fantasy football league. I'm Lydia, and I'm your new host for the Week 2 recap, Week 3 preview.
Just kidding. Okay, everybody, how's it going? I've got my little companion here. She's going to bang around and make a lot of noise while I try to talk, but that's going to be okay. We're here. It is me, your commissioner, and a big old loser from Week 2, but that's fine. It happens. That's exactly, rats. That's all I can say. Well, I can say more, and I will say more. So let's go ahead and get into it. I was taking on the queen, and, one might think, all right, just there, you've got it all wrapped up. There's, the odds are in your favor, Jeff. And not only that, but she had a wide receiver who didn't even play. And since she didn't properly handle Puka Nacua going on the IR slot and picking up somebody else, Hannah, you didn't even have somebody else you could replace him with since A.J. Brown was a late scratch. So one would think, playing the queen and playing her with 8 people, and I've got 9, this should all be wrapped up. But no, because this is fantasy football. And the strangest of all fantasies is the one in which nothing ever goes right. So that's weird. I forget what the term is for that, but I guess maybe the term is fantasy football. So, it looked like one of those things I had in the bag, but I didn't play Marvin Harrison Jr. And I played DJ Moore instead, or Zeke Elliott instead, or really anybody who didn't score 29 points, because 29 points sitting on my bench doing nothing. That Sunday night game, it came down. I had the kicker. Okay, so a Sunday night game. Hannah had her kicker. I had my kicker, defense, and like a tight end. No. Wide receiver, tight end, kicker. She had kicker. And we were tied 98 to 90, basically 98 to 99. And her kicker gets her 20 points. And I lost. I don't need to elaborate. You guys know what happened. It came into the final minutes of the Monday night game, and I thought it was well without, out of reach, because the Eagles, I don't understand what that coach, I forget his name, but he always looks angry and drunk. Maybe both. Or hungover. Probably that. It's going to be. His third down and fourth down calls, like not kicking field goals and then kicking field goals and not going for it and then going for it. Like every decision he didn't help me and ultimately didn't help his team. So what a ding dong. Anyways, I lose by 0.7 points. Probably the slimmest margin of victory or defeat we've had yet this season. But anyways, congratulations, Hannah. You've proven that you can win with a smaller team than your opponent, and so I'll just have to bear that in shame. Moving on, we had a name change. Our defending league champion, Uncle Touchdown, I guess is going for a more family-friendly, or maybe not, I don't know, Creature. We had a name change. Creature versus Team Touchdown. Maybe he didn't want 2 teams with the words team and touch in them, which I appreciate. But what are you going to do, Sean? What are you going to do when Dan has Alvin Kamara, who gets him 45 points, and 23 points for Justin Jefferson? And actually, that was really kind of it, because he had somebody who didn't. Did this Johnson fella on the Saints not even play? Jawan Johnson? Did he even play? He had 0 points, and you still lost, Sean? Embarrassing. But more on that later. But Team Dan wins 143.5 to 113. Was there anything that Sean could have done on his bench? Nope, because your whole team is hurt. Okay, moving on. The Weasel taking on the slightly above average team, an auto draft team, as Dan's was. And this week it fared a little bit better for both of our robot friends, for Dan and for Jason. Jason beats the Weasel 124.3 to 100.7. Dallas defense, -1 points, Weasel. That's if you didn't have that and they got you 11, you're still losing. But looking at your bench, who's this B. Allen fellow? Braylon Allen. Guys, I'm so out of touch with football players. I don't know half these names. I click on it expecting to see a Brandon or a Bryce, and no, it's Braylon. Okay, that's fine. But Jason, congratulations. Your team that was handed to you actually did. No, don't eat that. That's a wire. Why would you do that? That's a silly choice. Okay. Isn't she cute? Just don't eat stuff like that. Here, you can play with that. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, so Jason, congratulations. Moving on, the next one, we had Greg going up against Matt. 2 teams who are 0-1, and we knew that at least one of them would get a victory. So that's always great, right? And it can't, it's interesting. This game was looking to be a pretty low-scoring affair for most of the time. And then it comes to the Monday night game. The Eagles. Matt had Jalen Hurts. Greg had, who did you have? Saquon Barkley. And if you recall, folks, there was there was a touchdown run by Saquon Barkley that was an elbow short of being a touchdown. And then what happens? Jalen Hurts runs the touchdown in. Okay, big point swing. And then at the end of the game, Saquon Barkley drops a pass that could have turned into a touchdown. Definitely turned into not a touchdown, and the Falcons won based off of that. So, Greg, it hurts, doesn't it? It hurts. Anyway, Saquon. You live by the Quan, you die by the Quan. All right, Matt, congratulations. You are unwinnable no longer. Greg, 0-2. You need to change your... as weird as... I still don't understand what a squirrel salad is, but I miss the Wanakee squirrel salads being a name that I see. My last year is just so full of despair, which may be appropriate, but you should change your name back. Or change it to Old Greg, because I still think that would be funny, right? Yeah. Okay, next up, we had ChatGB Lee taking on the overachiever, Brandon. I hope that your knee is doing better than your team is, because 70 total points. And the overachiever, Michael, somehow you are undefeated. I guess the overachiever actually is an appropriate name, because I think you have the lowest points in the league scored against you. We can look at that in a second. But you beat Brandon 87-70. I sure wish I was playing either of you guys this week, but nope, not the case. Michael, you put all of your eggs in that dolphin basket, and they don't even lay eggs. But Waddle and what's his face, Tyreek Hill, now that they don't have Tua throwing to them, although when Tua was in, he didn't seem really to be throwing to them that well anyways. But what's going to happen? I read an article that was like, veteran signed by the Dolphins, and it was like, his name was like Loopy Huntley, and I was like, who's that? I have no clue who their backup is, but apparently he's a grizzled veteran backup. So maybe Waddle and Hill are fine. But this week you escaped with the win. Brandon, hobble on to the next week, buddy. You got this. I'm rooting for you, at least for your knee, to do better. Okay, next up we had Team Midnight going against Hawk Tua, and this was a very close game as well. This one came down to Devonta Smith. That Monday night game was actually very crucial for many people. But Devonta Smith getting 17 points, and that flipped the script. There was very slim chances that Mike was going to win going into that game, I believe, based on percentage, but you squeak away with a 3-point victory. I don't think... Yeah, that whole game, Carlos, you were just watching that game, staring at Devonta, and watching your lead dwindle point by point by point until you were surpassed. And it was terrible. But that's where it is. So right now, our rankings, we've got in the East Division. Also, I wish I was in the West Division. A lot worse teams, it looks like, but that's fine. We've got Team Touchdown 2-0, Creature 1-1, slightly above 1-1, Dallas Jeff Boys 1-1, Gone Fishing 1-1. My last year, 0-2. In the West Division, Team Midnight, 2-0. Overachiever, 2-0. It's a good time to be called Michael in this league, apparently. Team Queen, 1-1. ChatGB Lee, 1-1. The Weasel and Hawk Tua, 0-2. So we have 3 teams who have yet to win. We have 3 teams who have yet to lose. And we've got a whole smattering of teams that just, flip-flop week to week. So let's take a look at our Week 3 preview. We've got the slightly above average team going up against the Dallas Jeff Boys. And right now, the projection is the Dallas Jeff Boys 113.8 to Jason's 112.1. We will see what happens there. Next up, Team Queen taking on Team Touchdown, our big 2-0er. Right now, Team Queen slated 106 to Dan's 103.6, but we'll see if Kamara comes up with 68 points this week. Who knows? Next up, the Weasel 0-2 going against Sean at 1-1. The projection right now, Weasel 111.1 to Creatures 106.4. Next up, Gone Fishing against the Overachiever. Old friends turn into old new enemies. Michael projected 107 to Matt's 104. Carlos playing Greg. Right now, the battle. Oh, Greg, good for you. You get to play someone that hasn't won every single week. Carlos is projected 112.0. Greg projected 112.9. Ooh. Team Midnight taking on Chat GB Lee. Michael is projected 107.8. And, oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Michael's what he's called when he's in trouble. And is he in trouble? Probably not, because he's playing Brandon. And Brandon is projected 104.8. So that is our preview for week 3. We had a little bit of chatter on the old Discord about a trade that happened between Greg and Sean. Travis Kelce got broken up with, but not by Tay-Tay. Greg broke up with Kelce and sent him on over to Sean. So everyone's anxiously watching to see how that pans out. I just read an article that Kelce said, yeah, I haven't been playing very well this year, and that's my bad. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he continues playing poorly. Maybe he'll shake it off and start doing what people expected him to do. But if you guys want to bring back trade vetoes, we can. But I think we just, trust everybody to be responsible adults and just go with that. So, speaking of responsible adults, let's go check on your brother and sister. So everybody have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. I will talk to you. Hopefully some of you guys actually I can talk to. It's like having friends, but not really. All right. See ya.